Jim Deal on KDJ Radio in Parma, Ohio, and right now, this is an exclusive interview on KDJ. As you know, the Beatles became popular about a year ago. Their popularity and successes carried them right into 1965. And right now, on the phone with me, here live on KDJ, I have Miss Linda Worthington, who is the cousin of Derek Taylor, the former Beatle press manager. Linda, you're on the air right now. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. We just had a little trouble there. As I say, Linda is the niece of Derek Taylor, who was the Beatles press manager. Linda, how long have you been in America?
I arrived here early in May this year.
Earlier in May this year. And what did you think of the first week of being in America?
I was terrified. Everything was so different, but I like it very much.
Terrified?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you first land in America? Was it in New York?
Yes, I was in New York Airport for about 5 hours, and then I took another plane to Cleveland.
And what do you think of Cleveland?
Well, I like it, but I find that there's not as much entertainment over here as there is in Liverpool, as far as nightlife and nightclubs and dancing, that sort of thing.
Gee, and I rather thought there was a lot of it around here. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Well, obviously you never stayed in Liverpool for too long.
Well, I'll have to admit that I've never been there. Are the teenagers in England very different from our teenagers here?
No, not really, Jim. I think teenagers are the same the world over. They're just kids, and they like a lot of fun, the same as kids everywhere else.
I know they have two main groups in England, the mods and the rockers.
Right.
Could you tell us what group the Beatles belonged to before they became famous?
Well, they were rockers, and now I should say they were mods. But the rockers are the leather jacket, motorcycle crazy kids, and the mods are the more sophisticated type.
What would you place the teenagers in Cleveland in? What category, the mods or the rockers?
Well, I should say the mods.
The mods?
Mm.
You mean the teenagers in England are more wild?
Oh, yes.
Oh, gee. And more or less you'd think the teenagers over here in Cleveland are real wild. You hear it in the paper every day where they're getting hit by cars and they're racing and everything. And do you have much of that in England? Is there a lot of car racing?
Yes, and there's a lot of motorcycles. The kids are very motorcycle conscious. The faster the motorcycle go, the better they are, you know.
What do you find, is the motorcycle craze in England more popular than it is here, or
yes,
say vice versa?
Definitely.
Well, we've heard that the Beatles played with a lot of the groups in the caverns, and I'd like to know what is the cavern like? Is it something like our nightclubs, or what is your reaction to the caverns?
Well, the cavern is it's a cellar. It was a storehouse at one time, and they used the basement of the storehouse and turned it into I suppose you could call it a dance hall. But it's very dark. You have to go down a little narrow passage to get there. It's very dark, very smoky, but the atmosphere in there is just wonderful.
Is it the kind of entertainment they have, is it a contrast to our type of nightclubs, or is it a different atmosphere altogether?
Oh, it's entirely different.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I've seen pictures of that cavern. It looks like a wild place to go to.
It is.
I hear that the Beatles, while they were in the caverns, used to play all kind of wild jokes on people. Could you tell us something of what they used to do?
Well, let me see. Well, I remember once I was having an argument with John and Paul, and we were joking. We were eating a hot dog at the time, and I turned round, and when I turned back to take a bite of the hot dog, there was a toy cockroach in between the hot dog. That's the sort of jokes they play.
Oh, did they do that on a lot of people, or?
Oh, yeah. They were real good laughs.
Which means they were more or less the roundabout guys.
Oh, yeah.
How did you chance to meet George Harrison?
Well, I knew the Beatles, and one day they were playing on the stage, and George would never laugh or never smile when he was on stage. So I was standing there laughing at him because he looked so miserable. And suddenly he swung his guitar around, and my head happened to be in the way. And that's how I met George.
That's a nice way to meet somebody, I must admit. You knew the Beatles when they had Pete Best as a drummer, didn't you?
Right.
What sort of person was Pete like?
Pete was very quiet. He was rather on the James Dean type.
I see.
He never said very much, but what he did say was always important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't speak unless he felt he had anything worth saying.
Go on.
Well, I guess that's really all I can say about Pete. He was rather somewhat of a mystery.
Well, you do know Ringo, don't you?
I don't know him as well as I know the others. I've said hello to him and I've talked to him, but I don't really know him as a friend.
Would you contrast Ringo with Pete, or would you say that there is a difference between them?
Oh, well, as I say, Ringo, he's far more lively.
Mm.
You know, he's a very nice person from what I know of him. But I do know that when he first became a member of the Beatles, he wasn't too popular with the girls because Pete Best was. He was very popular with the girls, and I guess they were sorry to see him leave, and they felt a type of animosity towards Ringo. But after a while, they got to like him, and now I think he's one of the most popular members of the group.
Well, that is, if you've ever been around to one of these record hops the radio stations put on around here, whenever they mention his name, I'm telling you, it's it's a mad, screaming mess. Could you tell us a little something about each Beatle?
Let me see. Well, I think John was the comic. He was kind of the leader of the group, you know. He was always into everything that was going on. He was always the leader, and he was very nice. I liked John. Paul was, when he was with the rest of the group, he was, you know, as bad as they were. He was always into every bit of mischief. He was rather quiet when he was on his own. I think he was a very serious thinker. Let's just say that appearances can be quite deceptive at times. Paul is far more serious than a lot of people imagine him to be. George was, well, rather moody. He had quite a temper. But he was a very nice person. I liked George a lot. As I say, I dated him once or twice, and I got to know him quite well.
Well, if I could even go into getting a little personal now, not really meaning to, but have you dated any guy since you have been in America? Or have you dated any American men? Let's put it that way.
Yes, I have.
Well, which do you find more enjoying? Did you find an American guy better to go out with on a date, or an English fella?
Well, I think that depends a lot on how you feel about the guy you're going out with.
Well, let's just say you're just going out to go to a dance or something. I mean, I know how I act. I'm an American, you know. Do they have their certain way of a social life over in England? If you
well,
know
I think they're more formal over here. I mean, when you date somebody, they're very well-mannered and everything's rather formal. Whereas at home, it's very informal. You just date somebody, you may see them once and not see them ever again.
I see. You know. Who is your favorite Beatle now? I know you seem to give them both, all four of them, the same praising. Which do you favor the most?
Well, let me see. I don't think I have a real favorite. I kind of like Paul. He's, I don't know, I've always had a soft spot for Paul. I like him.
When you knew the Beatles, did you really think that they were going to become great, or did you think that they were just going to be another group that played in a cavern?
Well, I don't know. I always thought one day they would make it, but I never thought they'd get the success that they have got, you know. I know they always dreamed of making it big one day, but I don't think they even expected all this.
I see. And what have you noticed about the Beatles now that they have become successful? Have they changed in any way, or are they just the same way they were when they were back in the cavern?
I think they're just the same four boys that used to play on the cavern. I was talking to our driver the other day who was on tour with the Beatles, and although he didn't know them before they were famous, he said he's never met four more normal, natural, fun-loving boys. He said success hasn't changed them in any way.
Have you, you were saying now that you have dated the Beatles, and you say you have dated George. Now, I'll have to ask you another, which one did you say was the more or less the gagger, the whole group?
John.
John. Have you ever dated John then?
No, John, well, John was very fond of Cynthia, you know, his wife, and I don't think he really dated anybody else.
Oh, I see. He was. Did he ever really pull any bad jokes? How many bad jokes? I mean, something that really might have hurt somebody. Or
no, I've never
like
known
that?
him to do anything that would really hurt
He more or
anybody.
less censors his jokes.
No, I know they did pull all sort of gags, but I don't think they'd ever knowingly do anything to hurt anybody. And if they did, I've never heard of it, you know.
What do you think of the Beatles?
Well, I believe that they're very talented. I myself am not a teenager, but I'm afraid, have teenage tastes. And I'm a very great Beatles fan. I think I always will be. I like their music. I like the sound they have. Not just because I'm from Liverpool, but I do like their sound. And I think I always will. I think they're four wonderful guys, and I'm very glad of their success. I don't think it could have happened to four nicer people.
What do you think now? Do you think the Beatles are the best group that has come out of England, or do you favor other groups, or what? What is your personal opinion?
Well, yes, I think they are about the best. I know a lot of people say that they're imitated. I don't think so. I think every group has their own individual sound. I mean, you couldn't compare the Searchers, or the Dave Clark Five, or Jerry and the Pacemakers. They're all individual groups. I do like Jerry and the Pacemakers. I've met Jerry, and I know him very well, and he's a very nice person.
But otherwise, you still play with
Still for the Beatles.
Still for the Beatles. Did you? How long have you known the Beatles now?
Well, I knew them, it must have been for about a year.
About a year, I see. Well, then actually, you must have got to know them just before they became great.
That's right.
Well, Linda, again, I would like to thank you for
You're very
this
welcome.
interview, and if you would please hang on the line as we go on the next record, I'd like to say I'd thank you very much for giving us this interview. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, thank you. And I hope that your stay in America is a nice one, and that you have a nice trip home to England. And from the entire staff at KDJ Radio and the Deal Manor, we'd like to thank you, and we'd like to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas too, and to all your listeners.
Okay, thank you. And this has been Jim Deal on KDJ. We have been talking with Linda Worthington of Liverpool, England. At this time, we would like to thank Marge Plefka, a sophomore at Parma Senior High School, who wrote the questions asked in today's interview, and Marty Wolf, a senior at Parma Senior High School, who helped us in getting our guest, Linda Worthington, for this interview. This has been another public service interview on KDJ, the Big 54 Sound in Parma. This is Jim Deal.
It's been Good afternoon. This is radio station KDJ, operating in Parma, Ohio. KDJ operates at a frequency of 540 kilocycles and is owned and operated by the Forest City Broadcasting Company. KDJ broadcasts within the standards of the Forest City Company. The time in Parma is 2 past the hour of 2 in the afternoon. This is KDJ, Jim Deal speaking.
This is KDJ Radio. Forest City Broadcasting for Parma. Now exclusively on KDJ, the Big 54 Sound presents the Jim Deal Show.
Yes. Hey, hello there. Deal right here on KDJ Radio. Hey, hooray. Happy New Year party right here in the Deal Manor. Boy, I'm telling you, all the way to 4 o'clock this afternoon, it's a Happy New Year's party on KDJ. And right now, let's get going with the music here. Come on in, let's wipe your feet and have a party! Baby, run. Run, baby, run. Hey! Happy New Year party down here at KDJ. It's 5 past 2. And I tell you, listen to that sound in the background. That's Johnny Diverable behind the Diverables today. Hey, is he a little on the high side today? We're having this Happy New Year's party. He got to the beer before anybody else did. So if there's any slips in the program, please don't worry because Johnny is a little high today on the Deal Manor on KDJ.
Well, how's you doing? Hello out there. This is Jim Deal, and I'd like to remind you to attend the Deal Manor every Sunday between 2 and 4 on KDJ Radio. And if you're wondering how to attend, I'll tell you how. You just listen in right now. You pull your easy chair right up in front of your radio, see? You sit down, put your feet up on a stool, and click the little on switch to on, and then you take your dial and you tune it right up to the Big 54 sound in Parma. That's KDJ Radio. And that's all you do. You just sit there between 2 and 4 for 2 fabulous hours of the Deal Manor. Remember, please attend this Sunday and every Sunday between 2 and 4 o'clock on KDJ, the Deal Manor.
Hey, babies, I tell you, this is a real cool time we're having here. The Happy New Year's party right down here at KDJ Radio. I hope you're all going to tune in and listen. We're going to have a lot of people down here pretty soon. They're starting to straggle in. Hey, and listen, baby, all my crew down there in Klessner, we're going to tell about that party we had last night. Woo! Boy, let me tell you, was that a party? Man, I got my noisemakers down here for my party over here, and the little bell on this side. Johnny Diverable's going to start coming down. Don Hitch trying out the transmitter with Ed. He's going to put the thing on remote, and he's going to come right down here because he don't want to miss the party, and nobody wants to miss it on KDJ this fine Sunday. It's December 27th, 1964 outside. I hope you're going to listen in because I want you to listen in very much today because I got a record for you. Oh, yes, just the thought of you, I'm telling you, man, it's a Happy New Year's party on KDJ. You know what? Some of the crew isn't going to show up today because of this lousy weather. You know where they went? California bound. Hey, I forgot to hit the little machine in here when it didn't come out. I feel bad. I feel pretty good. This is the Deal Manor right here on KDJ. This is the happy party. And listen, everybody will be here about 2:30, so we're going to get them in the studio where it's our 25,000-foot Christmas tree. You ought to see that thing still in here. Man, I'm telling you, I was up there top of today, coldest there, but I can't help it. Hey, listen, I got to tell you, telephone number KDJ 884-1453. Why don't you call in? Come on. I mean, if you can't come to the party, you can call in. And listen, I got to tell you, right now, Johnny Diverable is hanging out with the record. I'm going to talk for a while, Johnny, so you can sort of shut everything off and wait a minute, okay? We're going to have something new now. Now, between now and 2:30, this is what I want everybody to do. Hold on the phone there, and we'll be right with you, please. And listen to this now. This is the way it's going to go, see? You call into KDJ. We're going to have a school check, but it's a school class check. It's going to be like this now. This is what we're going to do, see? The first school to get their entire classes to call in will be the school for the day on a Deal Manor. Now, that's between 2:15 and 2:30. Call in, give us your name, the age, and the school and the class you're from on KDJ, the Deal Manor.
I love, and I knew I had to run away. because of all my pride. The tears I gotta hide. Hey, I thought I was smart. I wanted hard, didn't think I'd do. But now I see she's worse to him than me. Let her go ahead, take his love instead. And one day she will see just how to set free. And get down on her knees. Yeah, that's how it begins. She feels those needles and pins. Why can't I stop and tell myself I'm wrong so long? Why can't I stand up and tell myself I'm strong? Because I saw her today, I saw her face, it was a face I loved. And I knew I had to run away and get down on my knees and pray that they'd go away, but still they begin. Needles and pins, because of all my pride. The tears I gotta hide. Oh, needles and pins, needles and pins, needles and pins.
Oh, I tell you, on KDJ, it's a Happy New Year's party. We've had, all right, listen, on the school check now, we've got Valley Forge in with a junior. Wayne Richards called in. We have Marge Sepsi from Parma Senior High School. She's a senior. Come on, gang, let's get those school checks in here. We must have a winner today on this Happy New Year party down here at KDJ. I got my little bells here. Hey, Johnny, run the cranker. All right, see, Johnny's got his little thing there, Johnny Diverable. Little Miss Turntables is all dressed up in her Sunday best. Oh, there's Johnny come in with his little thingy over there. I'll go, dude. I like that. And what's this? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, great. Yeah, listen, we better get into more music right now. Let's go into 2:15. Now, go!
I don't wanna see
John, get in here.
I hear that love is planned. How can I understand when someone says to me, I don't want to see you again? Why do I cry at night?
The tape again. Here we go. Okay. Hey, this is the Happy New Year party down here on KDJ. And we're going to have to, hey, look at everybody's right. Wait a minute. Why won't this work? There we go. Okay. Hey, come on, kids. We got this school check. Let's check in here. Like I say, the first school to complete all their classes is the high school winner right here on KDJ. So come on, let's call in a deal matter because Deal wants to hear you. And right now, I don't know what we got coming up next, John. What do we have here? A song. Okay, let's go to a song by Little Miss Turntables. Hey, I like this is a smoothie. Tell me why. New Year's party on KDJ. Hey, oh boy, that goes over here great, don't it? Hey, I tell you, Happy New Year down here on KDJ Radio. I tell you, we're having a New Year's Eve party down here because we're not going to be on Friday, so we have to get everything going over here. I got Johnny. Come on, Johnny, come in with your little noisemaker. Thank you very much. Don Hitcher, Diane, and Ed are out there somewhere out in KDJ Radio land. Hey, listen, we got to announce who won the pinup girls today. As you know, our head queen down here at KDJ is Diane Neiman. Her court... hold on a minute, friends. We've got to go into a promo. We'll be right back.
You out there, do you hunt radio stations? I want to let you into just a little secret. You have just found the Big 54 sound in Parma. KDJ Radio. With the 4 swinging music men. From 2 to 4, you're the host of Jim Deal at the Deal Manor. From 4 till 6, it's Denny Badick. From 6 till 8, right along in the D-Mobile with Johnny D. From 8 till 8:30, it's that program entitled Spotlight. From 8:30 to 10, it's the scrambled song title man himself, Don Mitchell. Yes, sir, the best 8 hours of musical radio entertainment you have ever heard with the four swinging music men every Sunday from 2 until 10 o'clock on the Big 54 sound in Parma, KDJ Radio.
Hey, that's right. The four swinging music men right here on KDJ. I'm one of them. Let's deal with you on KDJ. More music to go with you. And the Vandellas. They're going to be doing that all day today right here in the Deal Manor. Hey, everybody arrived at the party. Did you know that? Yeah, listen. Listen to that. Everybody's back. Hey, hooray! Happy New Year! Hey! They all showed up on the party here. What is that? Oh, Johnny, they brought their own. Hey, put a record on. I'm going to go dance. I'm going to go dance. Get a record on. I'm going.